This video today, I'm just going to talk about the power of follow-up. So Instantly have released their 2026 benchmark report, and there's an interesting stat in there that 42% of potential replies from cold email campaigns actually come from the follow-up rather than the first email. So as you can see on screen, I've put together this sort of flow chart which guides you through what most people tend to do and where they go wrong and what you should be doing, so you can basically maximize the performance of your campaigns when it comes to getting in front of your prospects, getting meetings booked with them, and also then closing those deals. So on the left-hand side, this is what people typically do. So they will send a cold email. The most common outcome to that is that they won't get a reply. So from that point, what do? They then give up. You basically say cold email doesn't work for us, or they think, oh, I'll go back to cold calling or something else. And then what that means is you've just missed out on 42% of potential replies. That also fails to account that the person that you've reached out to, or the people that you've reached out to, when they receive that email, they might have been in the middle of something. They might have been in a meeting. They might have been picking their kids up from school. So they saw your email, they were interested, but then life took over. They forgot about it. And because you didn't follow up with them and get in front of them again and give them a chance to actually say no to you or yes, that means that that deal is then potentially lost when it could have been something that they were interested in either buying off you or working with you or whatever it might be. So here's what you should be doing instead. Follow up with them 2 to 3 days later, and in that follow-up as well, you don't want to be saying, did you get my email or anything like that. It's more along the lines of, here's a different angle, or here's some social proof, or here's some more value as to basically what you would get from working with us. And then if you get nothing back from that, then 5 to 7 days later, you should then send the second follow-up. 2 follow-ups tends to be optimal. The reason being is that if you send 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the likelihood is if the person hasn't come back to you after the third email, beyond that point, you're just going to be irritating them, which can lead to things like unsubscribes, negative responses. And if someone also requests to unsubscribe, that means you also can't email that person again. So that's something that we definitely want to avoid. Typically, best practice would be is send the person 3 emails, and then a couple months, try to recontact them again, or give them a call or message on LinkedIn, whatever it might be, but just don't pester their inbox full of emails. And as you'll see here, so if you send the follow-up and the second follow-up, chances are you'll either get the person saying, yep, let's have a chat, or no, not of interest right now, or follow up me at a later date. And that means that you're likely to get 42% more replies from an actual email campaign rather than just sending 1 email. And in practice, this sounds like a lot of work, and I wouldn't recommend doing this manually. The key or the idea really is to get a tool like Instantly or SmartLead. And with that, you can then basically build campaigns, click go, and then it will automate this process for you. So all you're really doing once it's running is just handling the replies in the background, as opposed to having to think, did I follow up with that person? Is that email going out to them? And then, yeah, you just have this ticking over in the background. You'll see at the bottom here as well, just a quick breakdown. Most reps or founders or business owners will send 1 email, give up, and write it off as a channel. So to get ahead of them, send 2 to 3. Optimal follow-ups is 2 follow-ups. Like you see here as well, the spacing 2 to 3 days later, 5 to 7 days later for the second one. And like again, 42% of all replies come from the follow-up, just trying to drive that point home. Definitely need to be following up with people. And the takeaway from this video is always be following up with people. And if you want to learn more about particular strategies around this and what we've been doing to sort of land clients for our own business, check out Automated Outbound on Skool. The link's in the bio. In there, we have frameworks and best practices for you guys to learn from, which you can then implement into your own cold outreach.